doing, Mikey boy? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Tanek127 and welcome back to Tanek FPS. And guys, in today's video, I got a nice sweet shooter that I want to talk to y'all about. That's kind of the new kid on the block. However, if you want to stay up to date on all things PUBG BLINDSPOT, especially the possibility of it coming to console platforms, make sure you like today's video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's go ahead and get on into today's topic. That's right, I said PUBG BLINDSPOT, the new kid on the block, and this game has the potential to be the next big shooter in the tactical shooter space. Now, I'm going to be realistic here. It's very rare when, we get a cool gem in the tactical shooter space. CSGO has dominated the market for God knows how long. And then, after a while, Rainbow Six Siege came, and took some spotlight. After a little while longer, we got Valorant, which, came and took some spotlight. And there's a lot of other games that try, but they just don't quite fill that formula. They always make themselves, like a copycat or a knockoff, and they never do anything too unique, to make themselves stand out. But when I look at this game, I'm like, alright, this one just might do it. And I just think, the developers and the lead behind this game, they got to be very careful. Listen to the community, because there's a very hype and passionate community, especially on Discord behind their game. I'll leave a link to their Discord down in the video description if you guys are interested. But yes, this is PUBG BLINDSPOT, a brand new 5v5 tactical shooter, but it's top down. That's right, it's not first person. I mean, I guess you could technically say it is third person, but it's from a top down point of view. This is a very unique and different take. It still has the whole typical 5v5 plant the bomb thing, but it has, the different characters that have all kinds of abilities and stuff like that, like the way, Fragpunk or Valorant does. And it's just a whole unique style of play that works for something, that's more round-based one life and tactical style. And when I saw this, I was like, wow, this looks cool. They have something going here. Now, this point of view, it might turn on some people, turn off some people. I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of different things going on here. It may not be for everybody. If you're not someone, who enjoys tactical shooters, this might not be for you. If you hate this point of view, this might not be for you. If you dislike hero shooters and, different abilities that can, make you think more or, hinder with your gunplay or whatever, this may not be for you. But if you're, looking for something different, unique, that's a change of pace, this may be something you want to check out. And not to mention, it's getting ready to go in early access on PC here very soon. I believe, February 5th is when it goes on early access on PC, but they're describing it as a 5v5 top-down tactical shooter built on clever positioning, tight teamwork, and shared vision. Choose unique classes, create squad synergies, and execute smart strategies that turn the tide of every round. And guys, when you look at, the gameplay you see here in the trailer, that is 100% accurate of what they're trying to do. But like I was saying, if they want this game to succeed and go big, they definitely need to be smart on how they play this out. Because like I said, this is not going to be a game for everybody, but there is definitely a lot of potential here. This is something very different that, no one's really done yet in the shooter space. Because, most of the time when you see like top-down games or shooters, most of the time they're like real-time strategy games and stuff like that. Rarely, do you see games like that. Like the last time I saw a game that was top-down, had multiplayer and stuff like that, it was Killzone Liberation on PSP, and that was actually a really fun time. So, when I see this, I got generally excited. But a few things I think the developers need to do. Number one, obviously, listen to the community, take their feedback seriously and stuff like that, chat with us. And so far from what I've seen in the Discord, they've been very good and very responsive to it, because I actually wrote something that I suggested in Discord, and I got a response to it from one of the dev team, which made me excited. And that'll bring me on to my second point. One other thing I do think they need to do with this game is they definitely need to consider a console version. And one thing I brought up to them especially was the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, as you guys know, ever since the Switch 2 came out, I've been fanboying it a lot. I'm not going to lie. So there is a bit of bias there with me. I do love the Switch. I'm a big fan of Nintendo. But the console having, its own built-in mouse with the Joy-Cons and stuff like that, I just feel like there's a lot of potential there, with gameplay and stuff. Now, obviously, the developers have also made it clear they know that there's fans that want to play with controller and play the game on consoles. So I definitely do know that console is in the back of their mind right now. So that's, an awesome thing. And I'll show you guys some screenshots. They've been open about that on Discord, that, they're going to look into that possibility in the future and never say never. Usually when you hear developers say something like that, it's probably going to happen. Of course, we can't guarantee it or anything. The game's, technically not even in early access on PC yet, so God knows where it could go. But I think, this game would have huge potential, especially on the Switch 2. Now, hear me out, okay? Nintendo Switch players, now, don't get me wrong, in a perfect world, sorry to interrupt myself, but in a perfect world, I want to see it on everything, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, crossplay, cross progression, the whole 9 yards. But Switch 2, okay? Switch players don't really have any dedicated shooters. They have Fortnite, of course, they jumped on the Switch 2 dev kits right away. Apex, of course, EA, but they don't have anything. Not even Call of Duty is on there yet. Valorant hasn't made a move, and a lot of Battlefield hasn't made a move. A lot of other shooters just haven't came to that platform yet. There's been a few mobile knockoffs, and they give up with it on it within months, and they don't cross-play it with mobile or cross-progression it, make it a whole separate game, and, their focus just gets off it for a while because they're developing on 2 platforms, and they focus totally on mobile. That's what happens with every mobile shooter I see come to Switch. But imagine this, right? This game's already on PC. They show us something like this at a Nintendo Direct. And then boom, just shadow drop it right there, free to play for Switch 2. Tell me you wouldn't be, at the very least, as a Switch player, hype or intrigued to check this out, that, somebody finally decided, hey, we're going to bring a unique shooter to this platform first. I don't know about you guys, but I would personally be ecstatic. I think this game has a lot of potential, and I can't wait to see where it goes in the future. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.